right, what is up, everybody? Divine Hood here, coming at you with another daily update on Bitcoin and the crypto markets. Welcome in, everybody. Happy Friday to you all. We are dominating these Bitcoin charts, shorting from resistance, longing from supports, and Bitcoin is just technically trading really well right now. Crypto Clan World, welcome in, my friend. No, at least you're early, man. Thank you for being here. Glasshopper, have a rad weekend, everyone. Well, Glasshopper, I hope you have a rad weekend as well, and thank you for that. My stop loss on BTC was close. Oh, man. Well, you know what? You missed a little bit of a pump, but there's always another trade, so no worries about that. No. Yeshwant, much love to you from India. Thank you for tuning in. Samuel S44 and Crypto Wander 5813. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for modding for me. Great to see you guys as always. Adam Thomas, I got my long at 62.7, TP'd on my short and long. Nice, man. Adam, great trades there. I also TP'd 50% of my short, and I told you guys this was the first level of support that I was looking to TP down at this green box of support where our 786, our value area low, and our daily and our anchored VWAP was. So I TP'd 50% of the short, and I took a small long, but I took my long a little bit late. I actually took it close to 63,000. So, of course, I had to adjust my stop loss or my position size because of that stop loss being bigger. But I still got in on that a little bit. We are coming up to some resistance being golden pocket value area high. So we have to be careful for a little bit of a rejection here or a pullback in this general area. But Bitcoin's trading really nice, guys. It is trading really nice. And we talked about this yesterday, how we could continue this choppy kind of upwards buying exhaustion channel until we come up and hit the 65.7 level. Okay, let me see here. Time Attack, much love to you. Thank you for being here and thank you for modding as well. If you ever want to have a jolt in your life, open 5 mini contracts on NQ and not 5 micros. All right, well, it must be pretty exciting, huh? Pretty quick trade in there. Justin Trades, welcome in. I'm short. Hope I don't get wrecked. Well, Justin, where are you short from is what I would ask. And then I would ask if, you shouldn't be in the mindset I might not get wrecked. You should have a stop loss pre-calculated before you enter that position. And if you get stopped out, you're going to lose a certain amount, right? You're going to lose 1% to 3% of your portfolio. R Pink, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for modding, and thank you for always doing such a good job of it. Really appreciate you, my man. Hagamix, right off the daily, 200 MA easy, really. Okay, 20 EMA or 20 moving average on the daily. This was also the value, excuse me, guys. Give me just a second. I got something stuck in my throat. Sorry about that, guys. This was the value area low of our 11-day long range. This range in here, you can see it was the value area low. It was also the 786 was the top of our green box. And this was really our confluence of support, coming down to that daily around 62 to 65, let's say. But this is really what we wanted to hold. And if we held this and saw a break of our lower golden pocket, then that would be a very big sign that this was overall a 3-wave corrective move down. And now we're likely to take out our highs from Wednesday. So looking pretty good here. Now, this could merge into a larger structure, right? A larger corrective structure in here. And going into the weekend, that is something we have to watch for. And because of that, I am going to be, I guess, watching for a rejection from value area high golden pocket zone. This zone coming up right here. And if you longed the bottom down here, you might want to consider if we start to reject, and this is not financial advice. I don't give financial advice, but if we start to reject this zone just above us around 64.4, let's say 64.5, then you could look to take some de-risk a little bit of that trade, of that long trade, and move your stop loss to break even. Then you have a risk-free short, or risk-free short from higher, risk-free long from lower. And you let Bitcoin do its thing over the weekend. All right, Wayne Rossi, good evening to you. In a short from yesterday's highs, around round-tripped, was waiting for the daily level, still in profits, worth holding or exit. Well, you are seeing I mean, we could see a small pullback from this general area above us, but man, you round tripped from yesterday. I think, honestly, I think it's more likely we come take out the highs, because now that we're hitting the golden pocket, this looks like a three-wave corrective move in here. And this is also looking a bit impulsive so far. So I would suspect that we are going to continue higher here. We did see some bull divs on NAMI. And if we look at, actually, let's go to our 2-hour chart. I guess, no, not quite bull divs on the 2-hour. But remember, we're a little bit in no man's land, or Bitcoin is indecisive right now, because on the 8-hour and under, we see some bear divs. You know, we see some pretty big bear divs playing out. If we go to that 8-hour chart, as we keep chopping up in this buying exhaustion channel, let me go and throw that channel on. I believe it's this guy. Inside of this green channel, or blue channel, as we're seeing this buying exhaustion coming in here, we're creating the bear divs. So yes, this could still make another local high into the top of that channel and then end up breaking down and seeing a much bigger breakdown here. But as far as round tripping or exiting, I mean, I think that we're more likely to come up to take out the highs, even if it's just to SFP the high into that weekly level. I think it is more likely. And we're fighting with the intermediate to low time frame bear divs against the very high time frame weekly and daily bull divs that I do suspect we will see a bigger move. Even if we break this buying exhaustion channel down and come to 60K, I do think we will see a bigger move to take out 67.3 eventually. We have to see how we react. First off, two local resistances above us. Obviously, value area high and golden pocket coming up very shortly here. Golden pocket has not been hit yet, at least not on the Coinbase chart. And then if we break above the value area high, I would suspect we're going to take out Wednesday's highs, but we have to watch for the SFP of Wednesday's highs into that weekly and naked weekly point of control. I just want to check something real quick here. Let's go to the Bybit chart, and I want to see how Bybit's golden pocket looks. Did we hit that golden pocket? No, we still front ran the Bybit golden pocket as well. We're just starting to find a little bit of resistance at our 11-day range. Oh, actually, it's shifted down on Bybit. Interesting. Interesting. Let me go zoom into the 2-hour here. Yeah, you can see it's still a high volume node. You can see now the POC has shifted down, but this is still a high volume node in here. So, and you see your value area high is pretty much at that golden pocket. So 64.4, 64.5, we need to be watching for a bit of a rejection from this area. And if we can break above this area, I do suspect that we will come up and take out those highs. We're at the channel midline and the 618. All right, let me see what channel you're talking about. I mean, if we're looking at, that's our bigger descending channel. We're above the midline. And then if you're looking at this channel here, we're above the midline as well. The midline was around 63.8. And bear divs, you were saying, let's go to the 15-minute. Let's see if we're seeing any 15-minute bear divs. NAMI is showing some 15-minute bear divs here. Market Cipher is not. But once again, we're front running the golden pocket. So I would suspect these bear divs are going to continue to form in here, at least until we get up to this zone up here. And then we might see a drop. Darksby, welcome in. Ryan Henson, good afternoon to you. 71.2 target, then 39K for October 1st. 71.2. Interesting. Why 71.2? I know that we do have a golden pocket a bit above that. And at 71, let's see, you do, okay, I think you're looking at this order block in here, this 4-hour order block, maybe. That is an interesting order block, though. Yeah, I would definitely be paying attention to that order block in there. Yeah, Darksby, it has been a long time since you joined the stream, but thank you for joining the stream. I appreciate it. And Mind Tapestry, hello to you. It's been a while since I've seen you as well, but great to see you in here, Mind Tapestry. Been busy with life and work, love and blessings. Yes, thank you so much. Love and blessings to you, Mind Tapestry, as well. And, you know, don't feel bad about not joining the stream or anything like that. Just glad to see you here today, and I hope life is going well for you. And Eric, what's up, man? Stefan Dingus, hello to you as well. All right. It's the weekend too. Yeah, we are going into the weekend. So with this weekend price action, we are probably going to continue to chop, guys. Like, in all honesty, we're probably going to continue to chop within this blue buying exhaustion channel. But remember, market structure is king. And if we look from our lows, let me just clean this chart up here. If we look from our lows, we are still making bullish market structure, right? We have our higher highs and higher lows throughout this thing here. But then once we kind of get to this thing, we have a first break of market structure by breaking some lows in here. But we also broke above and made new highs. So from this high, you have a higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. As of this morning, a higher low. So could we suspect the trend is going to continue? And we're going to put in that higher high. And then what we really need to watch out for, though, with that, because this is starting to see that roll over. If we do put in that higher high, and specifically on the 4-hour chart and the 8-hour chart, if we see Market Cipher make another lower high, we would be creating some very nice bear divs, multiple drives of bear div on the 4-hour time frame, hitting into that 65.7K weekly and naked weekly point of control, grabbing liquidity from Wednesday's highs. And then if we look at the 8-hour chart, we could even be putting in another 8-hour bear div. I would suspect not so much on Market Cipher, because Market Cipher's slower, but we could put in another drive on NAMI. And if we have 1, 2, 3, 4 drives of bear div on NAMI with the money flow bear div on NAMI coming in here, and even if money flow pops up and makes another drive of money flow bear div, I will still be looking for shorts around that 65.7 zone of resistance. And yeah, we've hit into this zone, so we've already hit the 786. We did grab liquidity, but it was a very poor liquidity grab. So what we can do now is we can set an alert on our new high from Wednesday at 65,559 on Coinbase. We'll set an alert there. And if we SFP that high, hit the weekly, and then start to lose that high, I will enter a short. I don't care if it's the weekend or not. So if that alert goes off, and if that's, of course, in the scenario that I'm not sleeping, you know, if it happens while I'm sleeping, I'll just miss that. And then if we do reject before we get up there around this zone in here, I would just be looking for a bit of a larger corrective structure in here, you know, a larger kind of corrective structure. Maybe we will come down and hit that daily finally that we front ran. $72K, 72 views and 72 likes. Yes, thank you guys. Please do hit the like button, guys. If you haven't, if you get any sort of insight into the market from this live stream, please hit the like button for me. Also, we can go through some of the altcoins today. We can go through some of the whatever you guys want to go through. Just post it in the chat, and we will talk about some of those really good opportunities to trade. All right, let's see here. First time I have done that in all these years. Okay, Time Attack, what did you do here? I bet the pucker factor was high on closing that trade. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. 67,381 reaction zone for me. 67,381. Yeah, well, 67.3 is the highs, and then we have pushing up a little bit above the highs. I think that was a naked weekly point of control or a naked daily point of control just above. Let's see. So we have a naked weekly point of control at 66,875. And then I believe it was a naked daily point of control, 67,439. And a well, I think this box was pulled up a little bit higher because I was pulling it to the pitchfork band up here. So we could even shrink this box down a little bit. Let me throw on that naked daily. And now that our pitchfork band is dropped a little bit, we could shrink this box to around 67,439. But it's a zone, guys. It's a zone between 66.9 and 67.4, let's say. See me gap at 3K would be funny if it filled. Man, I would hate that because I own some spot. But I would hate it, but I would love it at the same time. I mean, if Bitcoin goes down to 3K, something is severely broken in the crypto market. Let's just say that. Sol's at the bottom. Yes, actually, Solana is SFPing a low into a point of control. And so it is looking pretty good. Now, I did not catch this. I did not catch this long position. But for me, this would be at least worth a try because you can see the value area low of this upper kind of corrective channel. You have this corrective channel in here. So you are hitting the value area low of that range into your larger range POC, and you're SFPing the lows. And it's a very clean SFP. This is perfectly what you want to see with an SFP. A bit of a wick below it, but a candle body close above it. And let's go to the 1 hour chart. On the 1 hour chart, you can see that nice clean SFP there. If you would have set your stop, as soon as you pierced above that level, you would have entered long. Your stop would have gone below that low. Even with this wick here, 2 hours later, you wouldn't have got stopped out. You would have been in the red for a little bit, but you wouldn't have got stopped out. Now, we have to be careful here on Solana because we do have the pitchfork, the back test of the pitchfork coming up here, and we could reject from the back test of that pitchfork. But I think I was just looking at Solana earlier this morning. You could see that we have some liquidity from this kind of sideways range in here. We had a sideways range in here. We have some liquidity right into our golden pocket. And that golden pocket is just pulled from the highs to the lows here. New lows and golden pocket. Let me just... I'm questioning myself now. Okay, yeah, that is... I think I pulled it to that high on accident. So there you go. So yeah, around 79.8 to about 80.2. And then you have that SFP of those highs right into that golden pocket. And anytime you see a liquidity grab into a golden pocket, you should really pay attention to that. So we might be able to push up there. Yeah, and then if we do SFP those highs, I would look for a short, and I would be looking to bring it ultimately down to around $71, $71.5 to $71. Marius, welcome in, man. Hello, Divine. What do you say about ETH BTC? ETH have a nice pump, but now lose some power. Yeah, we'll check out ETH BTC here. ETH BTC. Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, I can tell you we're breaking out of a descending channel. So look at this is on the daily time frame. So all the way going back to August of 2025, ETH has been dropping against Bitcoin, right? All the way in this descending channel. We are for the first time breaking out of that descending channel, back testing it, and then pushing higher. That is a very bullish sign. One thing that I do not like about what we're seeing, though, is we are seeing a front run of your point of control. And I guess that's a smaller range point of control. That doesn't matter too much. Is there a bigger range point of control in there? No. All right, let's pull this. Yeah, actually, looking pretty good. You are front running the golden pocket, though, depending on... Yeah, that should be there. But look at this. This looks pretty impulsive in here. And this looks corrective. So for the first time, we're breaking out of that channel. We back tested it and we're making new highs. I would suspect we're going to come up to the POC there. So ETH should be pumping against Bitcoin. Yes, locally it's dropping. Like on the last 2 days, it's dropping, and we could drop to backtest kind of these prior highs in here, which is kind of what we're doing right now. But I would think that it's going to continue here, pushing up to your POC and to grab that liquidity that's just above the POC at 0.32. Money flow is crossing into the green here on the daily time frame. You didn't have bull divs, at least not on Market Cipher, but NAMI did have some bull divs playing into that low, followed by a hidden bull div on this low here. Oof. You know, if we're looking at this as an impulse, you could say a wave 1 here, and then this would have to be a flat in a wave 2. You got your wave 3 here, you got your wave 4, and then a 5. We cannot say this is a double 1-2 impulse, like a 1-2, 1-2, because this low took out your initial 2-wave low. So we would have to say that this is a flat in here. Then you got your 3, 4, 5. Okay, so if we just finish this impulse on the daily time frame from the lows to our highs that we made on Wednesday, then we would want to pull a golden pocket from those impulse lows to the impulse highs. And around this golden pocket is where we would suspect to bounce. But you would want to see a slow, grindy corrective move. So you'd want to see something like a move down for 3 or 4 days, a move up for 3 or 4 days, and another move down for 3 or 4 days. Back test that channel, back test that golden pocket, and then you would want to see your big explosion. And this would be a 1 or an A. This would be a 2 or a B, and this would be a 3 or a C, right? If it's an ABC after you get your C wave, you would expect to make new lows, probably hitting your golden pocket. Now, if it's a 3 wave, you would expect to break up through that point of control, not see a liquidity grab of these highs, but you would probably expect to break up all the way towards your naked daily point of control here, and then maybe see, you know, pull back 4 or 5, something like that. And that's on the daily time frame, guys. So that will take time for those, either one of these scenarios. Even this pullback that we could see over the next week or 2 weeks is going to take some time, because on the daily time frame, we need that kind of slow, grindy chop to the downside. But yeah, I guess Ethereum, let me check Ethereum right now. The big thing I don't like about Ethereum is that we didn't take out that low at 1505. But, okay, we're breaking back up into your previous range, or we're back testing your previous range value area low. And if we do reject this, which I guess we kind of are, because on Wednesday we hit into it and we are rejecting this, you might see another move down, and this might be an A, B, C. Now, I know your B wave, it would be a running flat, right? Because your B wave didn't take out that A wave low. But let's throw on our expansion targets for a flat. Yeah, look at that. And guess where you hit right up into? Your expansion targets for a flat. So we have to be very careful on Ethereum. Ethereum could literally see this as a flat here, and then you could roll down and take out both of the liquidity of both those lows into the value area low of our 5-year long range. It's a 5-year long range. Also, Ethereum, unlike Bitcoin, because Ethereum did not take out the lows, there's no bull divs on the daily. Bitcoin took out the lows, there was bull divs on the daily, not on Ethereum. It's the opposite case. And just knowing the way volume profiles work, right? We had a range that was lasting 4 months. We lost that range with volume to the downside. After bouncing from a big support level, you see a back test of that value area low. And if you reject, you would expect to make new lows below the low. So unfortunately, Ethereum there, man. I got to see, because I was in a long on Ethereum. I think I took profit at 1918 was my TP. 1905. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Let me just double check this. Oh, yeah, it's closed. Okay. Yeah, we'll check some of these altcoins in just a second. Nope, daily 200 moving average, weekly 0.5 fib, daily fair value gap. Daily 200 moving average. Okay, let's go to that index chart. I believe I have the 200 daily moving average. I'm not sure, man. I see the 200-day moving average, but it's above us, at least on my chart. Oh, it's a daily level, weekly 200 MA weekly. Okay, I'm sorry. I misread that, man. I'm sorry. I get what you mean. So, weekly SMAs, MAs. Yeah, we're bouncing from that. What looks like which one is that one? 200. Yeah, we're bouncing from the 200 weekly and moving up. Okay. Now, at least on Coinbase, we didn't actually hit the daily. The daily was at 62,260, and we came to about 62,4, 62,5. Up 10% in the last 2 days. Adam, that's awesome, man. Good job on you. Okay, so many people, it seems, are betting the farm that it goes way lower. They can all be right. Or in for a rude awakening. For sure, our pink, I really do remember the last bear market. Everyone was waiting for 10K, 12K, and 8K. Like those were the big numbers you heard. And we just came down to 15.5, and a lot of people missed out because they were waiting for it specifically to come down and fill that CME gap at 12, or I think it was 8K, 9K. And it could be that way now. DCAing is your friend. Have a zone to start buying spot, not just a price. Well, and remember, guys, on Bitcoin, I actually did buy some Bitcoin at $69,000 when we were going to take out this low into our 69K golden pocket. So I bought some. We dumped straight through it here, and I was like, you know what? It's okay. I'm okay being underwater. Now, I did sell a little bit around 82K. It was remember, at 82.3, which was our 1-to-1 trend-based Fibonacci extinction target. I sold some of that I bought at 69, right at least on the Coinbase chart, it was at 82.3. And I rebought some more. I told you guys when we hit that naked monthly point of control, I think about 2 months before we hit that naked monthly point of control, I let you guys know that I had a spot buy on Bitcoin at $57,900. But yeah, DCAing is definitely your friend. Have a zone to start DCAing. Also, once you start to see kind of these weekly and daily bull divs, that is when I think, like, technically, okay, maybe we should start hunting for that spot buy kind of DCAing zone. All right, can you look at LTC? Yeah, we can look at LTC. We can look at AVAX, SUI, 67.4 fair value gap on the daily is a must. Yeah, so that's filling it. 67.4 would fill that daily fair value gap. Hold on, I don't know. At least on the daily, I don't see a fair value gap, but let's see. You might be talking about a different. No, there's really not any fair value gaps in here. Maybe this fair value gap here, I think, but that's not a fair value gap because this. Yeah. Did I take the trade on hype? I took profit on a hype short that I was in. Hype came down. So I actually took profit when we SFP'd this low into this box of support. And I let you guys know in the Telegram, hype was hitting that level, but there's no long trade unless you get back above. And I actually said, maybe we see a little bit, one more drop to the daily, but we busted straight through it. So obviously you're not taking a long if you bust straight through it. You want to reclaim it. And then once I started to leave this green box, I would have entered long, but I didn't. And then I was asleep and we came down. We have not SFP'd 58.4 yet. So you can see we hit the value area low of our larger range, this larger sideways range in here. We're hitting the value area low, but it's concerning to me that we didn't grab the liquidity with it. At least not on Coinbase. Let me check on Bybit. Yeah, oh, did we do that? Wow. Okay, let's see here. Man, Bybit did SFP that low. Very, very interesting. So if you got in on that low at 58, on Bybit it's 58.56, on Coinbase it's 58.41. That would have been a good long trade. And if we pull that volume profile, let me just get rid of some of this old TA. If we pull that volume profile, all right, the Bybit value area low is a bit lower. Yeah, honestly, if we do roll down one more time, because that's a very shallow SFP as well. You can see a very shallow SFP. But if we can roll down one more time and actually hit the value area low into your pitchfork band, which is about right at pretty much $58, that could be a nice area to look for a bounce. Look at that rejection up there. Rejection, rejection, rejection. Lose it. Kind of lose your midline. So yeah, you would expect to come down to this lower pitchfork band. All right, I'm going to quickly go into some of these altcoins real quick, because I know a lot of you guys don't like it when I spend, 15 minutes on an altcoin, and you guys are primarily interested in Bitcoin. So on LTC, I would just be playing this range, right? Play this range until it breaks. We have some liquidity at the highs at $46. We're struggling to break out of the value area high here. What I don't like is we're breaking below. And did we close our daily candle? Let's look at our daily candle yesterday. Yeah, so we're below. Well, depending on how you pull this volume profile, POC, we're bouncing from twice. If you're zoomed out on the daily time frame, let's go to our 4-hour. Yeah, you have high volume nodes that are very close to each other. So depending on where you're looking, you have your POC in this high volume node or up in this one, but they're pretty much equal volume as far as the high volume node goes. You're at resistance. You're at the POC. You're at the value area high. So this two scenarios here. You're going to see this as obviously like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have your 5-wave impulse on the 4 hours, 4-hour time frame, and this is going to be a 3-wave corrective move that's done with, and then you're going to continue up, and you don't want to see really an SFP of those highs. Now, in a bearish scenario, you took some liquidity of these internal highs here. I don't think we took that liquidity, no. And you're looking for a 1, 2, 1, 2 because there's overlap already. And then you would be looking for a 3 to the downside. And then you would look for those 4 5s to come in. You are seeing some bear divs that printed and then a new set of bear divs that is printing as well between these highs, higher highs, lower highs. Now, based off money flow, it's looking like it wants to curve up again on Market Cipher, or Market Cipher is curving up. NAMI looks like it wants to curve up again. I think that we could see a big move. And remember, guys, I had this $40 low marked for like the longest time. We had an alert set on that $40 low for like the longest time. And we kind of have that left shoulder or tap 1, right shoulder tap 2, we want to see that, and then we want to break out of this range and really push up to our previous range, that $52 to $54 area. Yeah, I really like that right up there, that $52 to $54 area. Until you see a clear break and a daily candle close above the value area high, and really you would want to close it above your $46 highs, your 46.3 highs. You got to be a bit cautious here, but it looks pretty good. LTC looks pretty good to maybe see a breakout here. I just want to check the weekly real quick and see how this weekly. Yeah, you had bull divs confirmed on both NAMI and Market Cipher B on the weekly. Market Cipher B starting to bottom out here, and NAMI's crossed into the green. So I mean, LTC could see a pretty nice push up. All right. What was the next one? AVAX. And AVAX, we're just chopping really near like the all-time lows almost on this thing. We did end up rejecting from that value area high 886 zone, but we wicked up and we grabbed liquidity from the range highs. So we can get rid of this. After grabbing liquidity from the range highs, we have now chopped sideways and down to the value area low. But what I do like about what I'm seeing here at the value area low is we kind of have that bottoming reversal pattern, right? Because this looks pretty impulsive here. Now we're having a corrective move to value area, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. So you want to see this break up and specifically break above the POC. Your next big resistance is going to still be that POC at 6.77. Man, there's a lot of choppy overlap in this. And look at how AVAX is now looking like it's becoming a low liquidity altcoin. Look at all these wicks to the upside and to the downside on this thing. That is the sign of low liquidity. I do not like how many wicks that AVAX has. And AVAX used to be such a nice coin to trade. But now it makes it a bit more difficult. And obviously there's a whole lot of overlap in here. So I know I said this just looks impulsive in here, but good luck trying to count a clean impulse within all of this. And also good luck trying to count a clean impulse within this. You know, in the bearish scenario, you grab the liquidity from the range highs. You can see you grab liquidity from the range highs. And now we're seeing, you'd have to count this as some sort of multiple 1-2 down, 1-2, 1-2. And then you'd want to see this thing break down, probably sweep the lows, and then see those 4-5s come in. Yeah, and the big thing we saw with the last move up, that looks like a 3-wave corrective move. All right, because of that, let's look at our golden pocket. That's where we're hitting into right now. Do we have any naked daily points of control in there? Naked daily is just below our golden pocket. We're hitting it today, and I just want to check our naked weekly as well. Yeah, so be very, very careful for rejection around this golden pocket naked weekly point of control. 665. And the reason why is because this looks like a 3-wave move up, and you could see now 1-2, and if you reject from that golden pocket naked weekly just above us, you could see a dump to take out the lows, to take out your lows on July 11th. And that's a weekend low. Guys, weekend lows often get taken out. Weekend lows and weekend highs. You had some nice bull divs in here, though. On the hourly. Yeah, it would be a little bit nicer to come up and grab these two highs as well into that naked weekly. So maybe we could see just one more little push, and it will give us some bear divs on like the 15-minute and under into these two highs. So possible short trade opportunity at 665. I'll set an alert there. If you bust through it aggressively, then you don't take the short. Sui is looking pretty good. I believe Sui was, yeah, Sui. Okay, so this is another trade that went off this morning. We hit that daily level and the alert went off on Sui this morning. We hit the daily. And remember, yesterday we were looking primarily, I said this golden pocket is decent, but I would like to see us come down to this zone, 786 daily, and hit the daily. And we did. This looks impulsive. This looks corrective. Now, on the higher time frames, we would have to say that this is still part of an impulse, right? Wave 1, wave 2, secondary wave 1, secondary wave 2, and then you would want to see this thing really start to explode up. And you do have quite a bit of a liquidity, a parabolic liquidity trail that you created in here. So we want to start breaking that to the upside pretty aggressively. We have to watch for the next resistance is that POC golden pocket, 74 to 75 cents, or pretty much 75 cents, right around 75 cents. We have to watch for that continued rejection there. Smaller sideways range, it was your value area low, your daily, your 786. You're bouncing, you're coming up to your POC. We're seeing a small pullback from POC. So what I would say, I wouldn't get too concerned with this pullback that we're seeing right now unless you lose VWAP. Because this, now that we're starting to flip VWAP bullishly, if you come down, you bounce from the VWAP, I would expect to move up to that next 75 cent zone. If we can break above the 75 cent zone, then we could see a bigger pump to the upside. Yeah, probably up to your value area high, where we also have a naked weekly point of control. 75, 78. So you have a resistance here, and then you have a little bit of a resistance here. And then, of course, your bigger box is above us, guys. Man, though, Sui does overall look pretty bullish. You're at the bottom of a major pitchfork. You had your initial bounce from this box of support. You came down, you SFP'd that into the bottom of the pitchfork. And now after breaking market structure bullishly on the daily time frame by taking out this lower high at 74.40, you can see we broke market structure bullishly. We came down and we bounced from your golden pocket value area low. Yes, we are rejecting currently from the value area high for the past 3 days. But as long as we're maintaining higher lows, or a high, higher low, higher high, higher low, this thing could really start to break up here, guys. And we have the bull divs on high time frames to confirm it. The bearish scenario is that this was a 3-wave corrective move and that this is going to keep dumping. So in other words, we would probably reject from this 75 cent zone and then roll over. Okay, and then Zcash. We're bouncing from the golden pocket. Actually, we talked about this. Was it Tuesday's live stream? We were chopping within this channel. We started to lose the channel, but we were losing it into the golden pocket, and we wanted this golden pocket to hold. And remember, I said on Tuesday, if this golden pocket holds, I expect us to come up to our purple box of resistance above. And it looks like it is holding. We're starting to break out of the channel. Let's zoom in onto the 30-minute. Ooh, not quite. I wouldn't say it's a clean breakout yet. But if you can start to close like hourly candles above the top of this channel, like see a nice big push up on an hourly candle above this channel, I think you're going to take out those highs, those channel highs. Yeah, there's no volume resistance within this channel above us. So let's see if we can't get this to break up here aggressively. We might see a small pullback to back test the channel after from the golden pocket, but then you'd want to come up and take out those highs. And ZEC on the larger time frames, I would want to at least come up to this value area high. And it's the if it's an ABC, remember we talked about this yesterday, ABC, your minimum target is generally that 618. So that's why the box starts there at 6 or 593. But you haven't hit that. On Wednesday, we front ran that high. And so this choppiness of like a few red pullback candles within the overall uptrend for a couple weeks, I would want it to come up to around the value area high at like 608. Yeah, 608-ish. Now, if you break above the value area high, I mean, you're going to sweep this distribution range up here and probably into that weekly that was front run at 699. And then you even have the SFP of the highs at 744 that you could sweep up to. So it's looking decent. Now you are creating some bear divs already from the 4-hour bear divs in here from these two highs, but that 4-hour bear div gave us this pullback of the past few days. Yeah, and Nami gave us daily bear divs with money flow draining out. I would want to see this candle that today's candle close pretty green here. I would want to see it close honestly above those channel highs or above the breakout of the channel. Breakout, back test now. If it holds, you're going to continue. Okay. All right. Tiki Taku, welcome in, man. Solana double bottom. Yeah, we covered Solana. It's SFPing the range lows into a value area low. So that looks pretty nice. I am concerned about another rejection from around 76.3, which is your pitchfork. But this thing, I mean, with that nice clean SFP, we could see a 5-wave move up to 79.6 to like $80, where we have some liquidity into a golden pocket. And that's the next level I would even be interested in entering a scalp short from. Hey, it's my first time watching you. You EU Top 24. Thank you so much, man. Welcome in, EU Top 24. What is your opinion on Bitcoin's price in the short and midterm? I think it is going to continue grinding up locally in the short and midterm. I believe that we're probably going to come up and make another new high above Wednesday's highs because we're bouncing from support so strongly here. Now, the other scenario is that because we are going into the weekend, this is going to kind of make a larger corrective move, and it probably continue to go throughout the weekend. But I am really concerned about a double top from Wednesday's high into a naked weekly point of control and a weekly level. We have a weekly level at 65.7. And so if we see an SFP of Wednesday's highs into the weekly and start to lose Wednesday's highs, it's not going to look good. But we're seeing on the more high time frame scenarios, daily time frame and weekly time frame, we have bull divs. And those bull divs, even if this is in your most bearish case scenario, we've already kind of played that out with, here, let me hide this real quick. We've already played that out with this channel that we have. We have this pink descending channel of this choppiness going back to June 5th. So check this channel out right here. And you can see, where do we reject on Wednesday? At the channel highs. It was also other confluence there. So your most bearish scenario is that you're going to reject and then roll over and come all the way back down to make new lows below 57.7. But we could be seeing a flat in here as well, where you come up to take out your 67.3 into the pitchfork band, and then you roll over. And you'd be looking at this as kind of a 3-wave corrective move in here. But welcome in, EU Top 24. No way ETH is bullish and not against BTC. Man, ETH, yeah. I think that, well, let's check Bitcoin dominance out first of all. How does Bitcoin dominance look? Because I believe Bitcoin dominance, yeah, it's pumping out of the range, out of our small range and out of the kind of this triangle. So I think that Bitcoin is going to hold up really well. We were looking at from the highs, because clearly this is an aggressive move down here. And you can see a fourth wave that's either a triangle or a 3-wave corrective move, where you're going to see something like taking out these highs and still roll over to make new lows. Let's pull our Fibonacci. Let's see. So if that's a 1, you'd have to pull it from this high to the low. If you hit this golden pocket at 59.68, it's going to invalidate an impulse to the downside. Because we're looking at this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a 5 moving down. And if you do move down in a 5, you might even come take out the lows at 57.17. Now, if you hit this golden pocket first at 59.68, even the 618 of it, you don't have to hit the 6.5, but if you come up here and you hit this, then that makes it more likely that this was a corrective move with an A, B, and an extended C wave, which it extended very far, which is not common. It's very rare, actually. But in that case, even if you reject from this golden pocket, you would be looking for a higher low before making a higher high. Short term, now that we're breaking, I guess it depends on the daily candle close. So if our daily candle closes above the value area high of this local range, which is going to be about 59.05, if we close above 59.05, Bitcoin's going to pump probably compared to the altcoins. Press 1 if you are long going to 75 by Monday. I definitely don't think it's going to 75K by Monday, Trade Goro, but I do think we could come higher locally. 75 is a bit much, man. That's a bit extended. If we go back to Bitcoin, we even have a golden pocket that's before that. Let me get to a cleaner chart here. So you can see this is that sideways choppy channel, sideways and down choppy channel. You had your initial aggressive push down, and now we're starting to see the selling exhaustion on the daily time frame. That's good. That's what you want to see, and we are creating bull divs, so those daily bull divs could give us a push up. But if we pull the golden pocket from the highs at 82.8 down to our lows, you can see our golden pocket is coming in at 73 to 74K. Another thing, though, we have to watch for, that is just about a 30% dump. So you can see it's pretty much exactly at 30%. And if you're using the log scale and you have more than a 30% dump to the downside or more than a 100% pump to the upside, you want to take that golden pocket retracement, and you want to go into settings and you want to click based off log scale, fib levels based off log scale. And you can see it shifts it down almost $2,000 or about $1,000, right? 74 to 73. So you kind of have some resistance, some pretty big resistance before that 75K zone. Order block in here still. But I do agree that if we start to break up above 67, you can see that there's a giant fair value gap right here on the daily time frame. Right? That's a fair value gap. So if you don't SFP that high and then roll over, you could break up really aggressively up to 72. Let me throw on that fair value gap for you guys. You can see that fair value gap right in there. And then another fair value gap right into the top of the golden pocket. So if we don't SFP 67.3, we could see a quick move up to 73. And when I say quick, I mean quick on the daily time frame. So it might be like 4 or 5 daily candles, maybe 2, 3 daily candles that go up to 73K. And of course, if you break out of a channel like this, you're going to expect to see a pretty big aggressive breakout of that channel. High time frames are suggesting it's possible because we have the weekly bull divs and the daily bull divs. ETH might crash to 800. 800 is a bit aggressive. I mean, technically, yes, it could, but I would really be looking at this zone between the POC and the value area low. That's your 5-year long range. You can see we're bouncing very strongly, not very strongly yet, but we're bouncing from the POC of that range. Because we wick past it a couple times, you could come to the value area low, and that's at like 1450-ish. So I would say, and then you have liquidity as well down here at 1400. But yeah, let's see what we get, because if ETH is in the flat here, which I just described earlier in the stream, we are rejecting from that flat target, you would at least expect to take out those 2 lows on the daily time frame. You would expect to take out 1505 and probably come to 1455. Oh, thank you, Rpink. So guys, real quick, I want to take a second to shout out the partners of the channel. The main partner of the channel is BYDFI. They're a VPN and KYC free exchange. All you need is an email and a password to sign up. If you do sign up using my affiliate link in the description below, you can get a minimum of 20% discounts on your trading fees, and you can earn up to 40% discounts if you deposit some large amounts into the exchange. They're offering up to $8,100 in futures trading bonuses, depending on the amount of volume you trade within the USDT markets. So that includes altcoins as well, Bitcoin and altcoins. They're offering some of the best initial deposit bonuses in the entire industry. If you deposit $100, they'll give you a 50% bonus, which is over double what most exchanges will give you on a $100 deposit. They're giving you 20% deposit bonuses up to a $1,000 deposit and 10% deposit bonuses up to a $20,000 deposit. I've also partnered with BYDFI to create that Telegram community where I do my best to keep you guys updated on Bitcoin, updated on all these alerts that we're setting during the live streams, trade opportunities. I try to let you guys know if I'm taking those trades or if I'm not taking those trades. So if you're interested in joining the Telegram, it's free. All you need to do is join BYDFI using my affiliate link in the description and deposit a minimum deposit of $100 or more. You can deposit more if you want to get some of the bigger bonuses. And the money you deposit, you're not paying it to me. You're not paying it to BYDFI. It's your money you're depositing in the exchange in hopes that you will try out the exchange, like the exchange, and stick with it. Now, once you've done that, signed up and deposited the minimum amount, you can click the Telegram link that Rpink posted in the chat, or it's in the description of this video. And in that Telegram verify channel, you're going to type in /verify and then your user ID for BYDFI, and that'll get you into the Telegram. /verify and your user ID. I have a few other exchanges I'm partnered with: Blowfin, MEXC, and Bybit. Links are in the description. They're all offering some rewards and discounts if you guys sign up using my affiliate link. And then lastly, we have NAMI trading, which is this momentum and money flow indicator you see at the bottom of your screen here. And I use it for confirmations to enter and exit trades. Actually, on Bitcoin, as we were making these bull divs into the bottom of the pitchfork, we had a green box of support that was from $57,900 to $56,000. I had been waiting for months to hit it. And we saw the bull divs, multiple drives of bull div as we were coming down into that support level. And that's why I was looking to long that support level. It happened so fast that I got in at 58.2, but NAMI, since I've been using NAMI for confirmations for trades, it really gets me into the good trades that are more probable to play out, and it keeps me out of the bad trades that are less probable to play out, and really has increased my profit margin. So if you guys are interested, NAMI is partnered with me to do 50% off. So if you guys use my affiliate link in the description, and when you're checking out on the website, use discount code DIVINE50, and you guys can get 50% off NAMI. Now they do have, right now, the only drawback for them is they only are using MoonPay to pay. So for NAMI, you have to like open a crypto wallet, Phantom, MetaMask, Jupiter. You add USDC on the Solana chain, and then you just connect and pay with USDC Solana, and you guys will get that. So I know that's a little bit annoying that you have to pay using kind of this MoonPay here, but that is available if you guys want that. Adam, I love trading too, man. Trading is just so, you know, especially when you have people that understand trading as well, and you guys kind of just go all back and forth on it. Mr. Roberth, 1995, welcome in, man. No worries being late. It's great to see you in here. And Teal House Coffee and Bakery. You've been busy, but you're back. Thank you so much, Teal House Coffee and Bakery. It's good to see you in here. Alex Becco, awesome, man. Welcome in as well. Sailors should sell 10 billion BTC, not one. Sailors might be the ruin of BTC. To be honest with you guys, I don't like what he's doing there. Is that a double top on May 4th on ETH BTC? Okay, let me check Time Attack. ETH BTC on May 4th. Where's May? May 4th, and here a double top. Oh, you could now, in the grand scheme of things on this push to the downside, yes, there is a little bit of a wick there, and there is some liquidity. So you could be seeing a small pullback from that liquidity grab, but that's not a super important liquidity grab. But yes, you're right. Right now it is a double top of that, right? More importantly, it's probably around your golden pocket. If we pull a golden pocket and we put that, let's see here. Yeah, it's really your golden pocket you're rejecting from, but yeah, you wicked up a bit past it to grab that liquidity from that little wick. And I bet you it's the POC of this prior range. I don't know for sure, but let's check it. A little bit high. Yeah, not quite the POC from that range. Okay, let's see here. I'm close to 2,000 channels I'm sub to on YouTube. Wow, man, that's a lot of channels. I think I have a lot of subs too on my alternate YouTube channel that I have, but a lot of them I don't watch anymore, so. I think the probability is ETH hit bottom in June like it did in 2022. It could make a higher low when and if we dump. Well, okay. I get what you're saying, Crypto Clan World. The one thing I don't like is this double bottom here. And the very fact that this move up, this initial move up from the low is highly, highly likely to be a three-wave corrective move. Look at, how do you count impulse in here? This looks very much like a three-wave corrective move. Now, any impulse to the upside, you can't say this is a 1, 2, 3, you know, even if this keeps going locally in here, even if this keeps going locally, you can't say that's a 1, 2, 3 because it started with a corrective move, not an impulsive move. So unless somehow you can count this move as an impulsive move, you're more likely to take out that low. And in a macro low or any low, right, you want to see impulse, correction, impulse continue, another correction, and impulse continue. I just don't like the way it looks, man. I don't like the way it looks. And also, we're rejecting directly from that flat target. We're directly rejecting from the flat target and the bearish backtest of your previous range value area low. And we would make, if we did come down here, you would want to see, by the way, an impulse here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, an impulse down. Actually, no, this could be a 3-wave corrective move. 3-wave corrective move. Yeah, 3-wave corrective move. So that's a WXY flat correction, right? After the flat correction ends, yeah, you would want to see an impulsive move down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you would want to take out the lows from your W. And I think that we would probably take out those lows into the value area low. And then we could create the bull divs. Now, if we do create bull divs between this low and the next new low, like we could have some very nice bull divs, you know, coming in here. Now, obviously, this isn't a bull div because we didn't take out the low. We can check the weekly time frame here on Ethereum. Yeah, and if we move down pretty fast here, you know, maybe 3-4 weeks, we move down, you could create some nice bull divs in here. Or at least on NAMI you would, for sure. The last time we had weekly bull divs, it gave us this push up. But once again, that push up was also a corrective move. And look at what happened after the impulse down. 3-wave corrective move, impulse down, right? We just keep seeing those 3-wave corrective move, impulse down, 3-wave corrective move, impulse down, 3-wave corrective move, impulse down. All right, let's get back to Bitcoin real quick. What is Bitcoin doing? Man, it's seeing a bit of a rejection. I think we're going to continue pushing higher, though, guys, overall. I do. I think we're going to continue up, at least hit our golden pocket and our value area high. On Bybit, that value area high is a bit lower. It's a bit more in alignment with that golden pocket. But that's where it looks like we're coming to. 64.4 to 64.5. You're long on Sui from around 72.96. Okay. Now, if you're long on Sui from 72.96, close enough there. Your stop, you'd want obviously to go below today's low. If you're targeting just that high above us at 75 cents, that's only a 2.34 risk to reward ratio. Now, I know some traders that would take that any time of day, right? For me, I like to have at least like a 2.8 or higher. Now, if you're bringing it up to the value area high in that naked weekly, actually, I would put it right on that naked weekly. That's a nice 3 to 1 risk to reward ratio there. And then you could leave some of it to break open to these much higher prices because there is the possibility of breaking up to much higher prices. Honestly, after hitting the daily, once you started to reclaim this value area low, man, that would have been a really good long. Peoria B, hello to you as well, man. Disappointing bear market if BTC gets support around 60K area. Yeah. We also had somewhat of a disappointing bull market, right? Only topping out at 126. So it does seem like Bitcoin, now that like the big institutions are getting in, the volatility is kind of collapsing a little bit, right? You don't see the big aggressive pumps you used to, but maybe we're not going to see those aggressive bear markets either. And because we're getting those spot ETFs that are kind of managing huge amounts of buying and selling every day, it might start to act more like a commodity or, like a ETF. It's obviously going to be more aggressive and volatile than a traditional ETF. But yeah, I mean, we're just in the beginning stages of that, right? So we're going to have to see how that plays out over the years. Okay, went long at BTC POC and then sold out when it reversed back. Wait, went long at the POC. I'm not sure which POC you're talking about. Yeah, got in, you're up now. Well, that's good. Guys, if we come down to the VWAP, this is Sui, sorry. No, I wouldn't actually want to come down that far on Bitcoin. Since this is the low, let me check on Binance. Is that, yeah, okay. So all the exchanges, that wick is the low at like 62.5. And Coinbase just went a few dollars lower. We could pull our golden pocket. Actually, yeah, you could come down to this golden pocket because what we're looking at now, if this is a confirmed three-wave corrective move, which now it is a decent probability because we hit the golden pocket from this high to the low, we could be looking at this entire push up so far as a wave 1, where then we're going to see a corrective move down to the golden pocket for a wave 2, and then you would want to explode in a wave 3. And this move might SFP the highs into 65.7, or it might continue all the way up to 67.3. Yeah, no, Crypto Clan World, thank you for your input, man. I always love to hear other people's input, and I know you know what you're doing in trading too, Crypto Clan World. So appreciate the, the perspective you have. Always, man. Fringe Toaster, welcome in. It's good to see you. All right, let me scroll down on this chat here. BTC liquidity building. Let's check out our liquidation heat map, our local. So we do have some liquidity below today's lows. It would be right into that daily level, actually, that we front ran. You could see if we took all that local liquidity out, it would be into that daily that we front ran. Let's go to our Model 3. Yeah, man. Whew, are we going to see a double bottom there? As long as we don't take out Monday's low, Monday, July 13th's low, I'm going to remain overall more bullish that we can come up and take out Wednesday's high. Because remember, this is an impulse. And if you see a corrective move to make a higher low, you expect to make a higher high. I know we had the Crypto Clarity Act stuff going on today, and that's caused a little bit of volatility. You can obviously see these wicks that were going on here. And by the way, I haven't been paying much attention to that today, guys, because to me, it's whether it gets passed or whether it gets pushed down the road, which I thought was going to be more likely. I'm going by the technicals. So I don't know, did any of you guys watch any of that stuff? July has always been most bullish month in a bear market. August, September sell-off. Well, that is interesting. And I could see September and August selling off a little bit. You have a strategy for choppiness. To me, the choppiness, like a lot of people want to trade the super choppiness, like all of this super choppiness in here. And for me, like you can see, I'm interested in the major zones of confluence. And I just kind of ignore that. Now, if you're doing super low time frame scalp trading, like maybe, 5 or 10 trades in a day, you're scalping New York session or something like that. Yeah, there's definitely strategies you can use to deal with that choppiness. I would even say all of this for the past 2 weeks has been a lot of choppiness, right? Up and down like this choppiness. But it's definitely starting to see like this was an aggressive move to the upside, and now you're starting to round off and see that buying exhaustion, right? That buying exhaustion coming in here. And oftentimes you will see a rollover of that. +10%. Wow. 67K. Yeah, I do think we could push up to 67K. And if we're looking at in the larger scenarios, I know I've covered this a lot, so I'm sorry guys if this is a little bit of review for some of you. But we're looking at that initial move up to 64.6. These 7 red candles or 7 green candles in a row, right? Clearly an impulsive move to the upside. So you have your A or 1. This running flat in here was a B or a 2. And then even in a C wave, you're likely to come up, you want to see symmetry between 1 and C. So you would likely come up and take out that 67.3K high. Now the minimum target is just to take out your A wave highs. And we've seen like an A, B, C, you generally have your A wave is somewhat equal in length to your C wave. And your A wave is an impulse and your C wave is an impulse, right? But you do see sometimes where you, especially if there's a flat in a B, and then your C comes up and just barely takes out the A wave highs, and then you roll over. And it looks like a Bart Simpson. AVAX back to 30 ever. Man, I don't know. I don't think AVAX is ever going to get back to 30. Let's see here. That's a very tall task for AVAX. Actually, when we were coming up to your logarithmic golden pocket, let me go to the Bybit chart, because you can see this zone here. I was looking for major swing shorts at this zone here at $33 to $37, 33 to 36. We had so much in here. It was a swing failure pattern. It was a range point of control, naked weekly point of control, a weekly level, a daily level, your logarithmic golden pocket. And sure enough, look at, we rejected, took liquidity, and saw a massive dump. Massive dump. Now, anything can happen, right? In bull markets, some of these coins pump very aggressively. But I would say coming up to $30 again, not anytime soon. If we are going to see $30, it's not going to be anytime soon. And if you look at this larger upper range that we've been in, you can see the value area high of that range is around $37, $38. But you have to get above your POC, and that's $17, $17 to $18. And it would take a while. It would take some time to break that POC. Now, in a bull market, yeah, you absolutely could, but not anytime soon. Ever. I'll never say never, right? Never say never. A lot of this is old now, guys, because I switched over to the Coinbase chart. Speaking of some of this, though, you can see that we're hitting the bottom of a bearish pitchfork, right? This is our macro bearish pitchfork. Pulled from the all-time high down to your 2023 lows up to your 2024 highs. We're hitting the bottom of the pitchfork band, the bottom pitchfork band after rejecting from the midline. And remember when we started to reject from this midline, guys, you go back and watch my video from it was probably the live stream on Tuesday. Or let's see here. When was this? This was a Sunday. So go watch Tuesday, May 12th live stream. When we started to reject this midline here, I warned you guys that we could see a drop all the way down to the band, to the lower band. And even in a very bearish case scenario, all the way down to the bottom of the pitchfork. That would obviously take some more time, right? Maybe by October we see that. But we are starting to hit that pitchfork band, which is a very nice level. And we're hitting it with bull divs on the chart. You can see lower lows on the price action, higher lows here, right? We need to break this. This is like a accumulation range forming right now. And could you say that it's already in, like this is your tap one here or your left shoulder? this is your tap 2 or your right shoulder, and all of this is kind of your tap 3 or your head right shoulder. And then you're going to break this up. And you would probably break it up to back test this range, right? Either the lows of that range or the value area low of that range. Yeah, so 881 or sometimes, so when you break a accumulation range, you will see expansion, right? And the expansion will bring you up generally to backtest your prior zone of balance, which a range is just a zone of balance where the market found some sort of balance within the asset. So, and if you break this expansion breaks up to your previous zone of balance and it rejects, that's a very bad sign. Now, if it breaks up and finds reacceptance, even if we come up to the naked monthly, reject it, and then see a pullback, it's still a good thing because then you could start to see a break back up and into the value area high of your previous range, or even taking out your range highs. And I believe that we had the double top in here. It's, yeah, pretty much a double top at 1055. Okay, AVAX is dead. Yeah, I kind of think AVAX is dead too, but maybe it will have some developments. I know that it's got like gaming stuff on it. Do you see BTC going to 66K? That is a complicated question because yes, I could see it going up actually to 67K, 67.3K, like I just explained on the ABC here. But the first order of business is if we do reject from 65.7. Okay, let me just get in here. 65.7 is going to be a weekly level and a naked weekly point of control. And obviously now we have the liquidity from Wednesday's highs just above that. So if we continue this choppy grind and then over the weekend we chop up in here and SFP that, we might not make it to 66. We might only make it to 65.7 before seeing a bigger breakdown. You're in a ZEC long, Peoria? Or Peoria beat? We covered ZEC earlier in the stream. But yeah, I think ZEC could come up to 608 to the value area high up here. Because we're bouncing from your local golden pocket. But if you start to lose your VWAP today, like you can see, let me, before I switch time frames, oops, you can see that the daily candle, nice bounce from the bottom, from your golden pocket. But if we close this daily candle below our VWAP, it's not going to be good. Right now, we are above the VWAP. But if we start to close it, if we close this daily candle with the body below the VWAP, it's going to look bad in my opinion. It's really cool though if we can, you know, we bounce from golden pocket. If you break out of this channel, you back test it here and it holds, we can expect to move up. And I would really expect to sweep all of this. The one thing you have to watch for is pulling your golden pocket from the high to the low. And sometimes you reject from that golden pocket. You back test it, you reject from the golden pocket, and then you see another back test before coming up. "15 minutes flagging out." This is not Bitcoin. Man, that 64.5 to 64.4 is an important level above us. But yeah, you could be like from the lows from today, if we're looking just at today's price action, wave 1, wave 2. This is maybe a wave 3 that ended a little bit before the 1.618. And then you could be seeing a wave 4 in here, and there might be a triangle that we're forming for wave 4 before breaking up and seeing a wave 5. And that, of course, would be just part of a wave 1, and then you could get a pullback in a 2, and then 3, 4, 5, you know, your impulse. So what we can do on the 15-minute is if we pull it from the low at 62,788 to our highs today, if you hit this golden pocket, which is just below the VWAP, 63,386, if you hit this golden pocket, it's going to make it far more likely that this was a 3-wave corrective move and that you are going to make new lows if you hit this. If we continue to kind of grind either in a triangle here or a 3-wave corrective move, like you could do something like this, 3-wave, 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 and then go up, right? That's your WXY correction. Or we could already be done with your 3-wave. Look at this. A, B. Well, you haven't taken out that low yet. Let's see. Did you take out that low? No, not quite yet. So you would want to take out that little low to give you a 3-wave corrective move. Yeah, and then look at, so if we're looking at the subwave count, if we're looking at this as a wave 1, this is a wave 2, that's probably right around your golden pocket. So we'll pull that. Yep, right at your golden pocket, right? So your wave 2 commonly bounces from a golden pocket, so that lines up. And then if we're looking at this being the 3rd wave, can we count 5 waves in here? Well, you have your initial push up, small pullback, that's a wave 1, wave 2, another pull up in a wave 3, another pullback in a wave 4, and then you have your 5. So yes, there's a valid 5-wave count on the 15-minute for your 3rd wave, a sub count for your 3rd wave. So now we would be looking for a 4th wave in here to kind of mimic your 2nd wave in here. And the 4th wave pulls back between the 382 and the 0.5. So if you go from the lows of wave 3 to the highs of wave 3, you put on your 4th wave targets, we can be expecting a bounce around 63,750-ish to 63.5. I actually like this 382 because oftentimes in a larger degree wave 4, you will retrace to take out the termination point of a lower degree wave 4. Right? So if we take out this lower degree wave 4 into your 382, and then you make that 5th wave. Today's dump looks corrective, right? Yeah, yes, this dump in here does, now that we, yes, it does look more corrective now overall, now that we are breaking the golden pocket from this high to this low. What will you say is your top 10 coins for the next bull run? Well, I think Hyperliquid is a really good product. I think Solana is a really good layer 1. I think Injective Protocol is a really good coin. Man, I would have to, I even think like Sui is a decent asset there. Believe it or not, BNB I still think is one of the best. BNB is one of the coins that doubled its all-time high. You know, let's just check BNB out on the weekly time frame. Look at its prior all-time highs from the last cycle were around, what was that? $691. We came up to 1,375. So we pretty much doubled your prior all-time high. You know, Bitcoin's prior all-time high was what, 69K? It did more than Bitcoin did, really. So I honestly like BNB a lot because BNB is a major exchange token and BNB is the largest exchange in the world. And then there's some other coins that Near Protocol I think is a really good layer 1 that's out there. Chainlink, obviously, you know, in Oracle. although it's been very disappointing so far. Yeah, and I'd have to dive into that more. Swing long on BNB would be a gift from the gods. Also planning on buying some spot in December. Hopefully we get another dip. Yes, so first off, on BNB, I've been looking for this hit of the weekly in this support level for so long. I was looking for it all the way back in February, and we finally came down and hit it. What I was looking at initially on BNB was that 3-wave corrective move from the all-time highs, kind of impulse correction impulse, and I was hoping that here it would hit 555 and then start to break up. Now, unfortunately, it didn't, and we still could be looking at, you know, some sort of impulse correction, and then you would need one more impulse to the downside, right? A 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5-wave move down. So from this high at 745, you would want to see, like, this would be obviously an impulse in a wave 1. If this is your wave 2 in here, that is not appropriate for a wave 3, right? So you would actually be looking at this is all as a wave 1, and you'd be looking at a larger sideways corrective structure in a wave 2, and then you would want to see that big breakdown in a 3, 4, 5. I don't like this liquidity either that built up here. So coming down to $500 to sweep all three of those major liquidity levels would be pretty nice. And if you pull a from the Fibonacci golden pocket from the low of the pitchfork, oh, I gotta fix that. Hold on, let me just zoom out to the weekly to make this easier. You got to put that on log scale because that's more than 100% pump. Oh, we've already hit past the golden pocket, so let's add our 786 in there. 786 at 520. 521 pretty much. And it's going to be around the value area low of this previous range. I know this chart is super messy, guys. Let me go to this buyback chart. What we saw was we had a range that lasted about a year in here. Okay. We broke that range and continued to the upside. And this was accumulation down in here, right? Accumulation. So if we're looking at pulling the volume profile from your previous range, this range right in here, we are bouncing from the value area low. Right? You can see that value area low is where we're bouncing from. So when you have a zone of balance, when the market finds a zone of balance on an asset, they will trade the oversold and the overbought within that zone of balance. And they'll just, you know, that's the day trading and, you know, normal just trading activities that goes on within a zone of balance. Then we broke up to new levels of price discovery, but we couldn't maintain those new levels of price discovery. What you wanted to see is a break up to new levels of price discovery and then a new zone of balance starting in a new level of price discovery, right? A new range starting. Well, we didn't. We just V-shaped right back down pretty much inside your previous zone of balance. And you can see once we fell back inside of that value area high, you started to chop again and trade in that normal zone of balance. So the market is now pricing back the price of BNB back to really 2024 and 2025 levels, you know. And so we are at the undervalued though. And that is an important sign, being at undervalued. If we can see some buyers step in here, we have bull divs on NAMI. in here on the daily and daily bull divs on money flow. Weekly is about to print some bull divs for Market Cipher, and it has already confirmed. Look at this, multiple drives of bull div on the weekly. I mean, that is looking pretty good. And if we don't hold the value area low that we're at right now, you are likely to sweep all three of this liquidity together. So in other words, coming down to $500. And actually on Bybit, it's $496. But on Binance itself, it's $500, that low. So yeah, I mean, it would be pretty nice. I think I would be willing to pick some up if we come down to 500. Okay, let's get back to Bitcoin here. What is Bitcoin doing? We'll go on lower time frames. Yes, okay, good. So we finally took out that very local low. Okay, so now that we took out that guy, we do have it now at least a confirmed low, lower high, lower low. So could this be a three-wave corrective move that ends here and goes up? Yes, but it's more likely to come a little bit lower. It's more likely at least to grab this lower degree wave 4. Excuse me. Yeah, lower degree wave 4. The other one that I was looking at, guys, still is Ondo. And here's the thing. In yesterday's live stream, I was looking at the Coinbase chart, and I told you that we front ran the SFP into the golden pocket from like 39.5 to about 40 cents. Well, if you look on all the other exchanges, it didn't front run it. And I was so pissed off that Coinbase was the one exchange that didn't do it. So if we go to Ondo USDT on Binance, 39.5, we did SFP it, right? Into that golden pocket. On Bybit, Bybit, we got the SFP as well. And yeah, because we're SFPing that, I mean, if you lose this POC, you're going to see some trouble. So far, you can see we back tested the POC. That was yesterday. And we're pushing up. We're rejecting from a lower high golden pocket. Golden pocket 786 zone. Meaning we could take out yesterday's lows. Another thing that we saw is this is looking like a three-wave corrective move to hit a lower high golden pocket and reject. The more bullish case scenario is that you're going to see another three-wave corrective move and then another corrective move. But either way, this would just be an extended correction before coming down again. So unfortunately, Coinbase, in that one instance on Ondo, Coinbase let me down because I was going to short that. And my alert was set on Coinbase where we didn't hit the SFP into the golden pocket. Ah. But yeah, suffice to say, guys, there's probably not going to be a lot that happens over the weekend. You know, we generally chop, especially on Saturdays, you generally chop like super low volume, nothing, right? And then Sunday around midday for where I'm at in the world, it starts to pick up again. You know, markets in other places of the world are opening then. But I like the move up that we're seeing from our support box. And remember in yesterday's live stream, I told you I shorted from 65.2 once we started to lose the purple box. And I said, I'm not taking any profit until we hit our value area low. And I said, yeah, the 786 was a bit above at 62.5, but the value area low is what I was looking at. And we did hit that value area low. I did take some profit on that. I am still in the short. I have moved my stop loss to break even on the short at 65.2. And honestly, if we start to break above the golden pocket, that's so if you go from yesterday's high to today's low, if we start to break above 64.5, I'll probably just pull out some more just to lock in a little bit more profit. But I think Bitcoin is going to come up overall. I think Bitcoin is going to come up and take out our high from Wednesday. It's just a matter of time. Yeah, Sunday night for you is Asia. Sunday night is Asia Open for me. Yes, Adam. That's exactly what I was kind of referring to in a non-direct way. So if I were you guys over the weekend, set an alert on Wednesday's high. Set an alert on Wednesday's high. And then also you can set an alert on the weekly. So I don't know if any of you guys are not familiar on how to mark out weekly levels, but you just, very basic, right? Go to your weekly chart, and where you see a weekly candle body open and close together that isn't ran through already. So you can see this candle body, green and then red. You know, use your magnet tool, throw on that horizontal line or whatever, and then you can mark it out. You know, I have a template for a weekly. And then you can see if after that weekly level was printed, has it been touched yet? No, it hasn't, right? It hasn't been touched yet. So it's a fresh weekly level there. So you can mark that out on your chart. And if we see over the weekend, I don't know, I doubt it's going to happen over the weekend, but who knows? A push up in here, you know, to come up to SFP the high, hit the weekly, and then start to lose that high. That would trigger a short for me. So I would short as soon as we start losing Wednesday's highs. My stop would go above wherever this wick is, if it wicks up to the weekly. Now, we do have a naked daily point of control just a little bit above that, so it could also wick up to the naked daily point of control at 65,765. So let's just say we're going to put it above that naked daily point of control. Okay, that would be... And then, honestly, the first TP I would look at would be another back test of the value area high, right? Because it could come down, it could back test that value area high and then keep going up to 67.3. But you can see that's still a 4-to-1 risk to reward ratio. Short, pull out 25% or pull out 50%, move your stop loss to break even. And then if it dumps, it's going to dump. If it dumps after rejecting from 65.7, I do think we will eventually sweep all of this, all of these higher lows. It's probably going to sweep them all and come down to 60K. So I would leave some open just in case that happens. But honestly, guys, I don't have too much else to discuss right now. Please do hit the like button if you got any sort of insight into the market from this live stream. Remember, over the weekend, I'll do my best to keep you guys updated in the Telegram. In order to join the Telegram, you just join BYDFI using my affiliate link in the description. Deposit a minimum deposit of $100 or more. Once you've done that, you click the Telegram link. You're going to type in /verify in your user ID. That'll get you into the Telegram. The money you deposit is your money. You're not paying it to me. You're not paying it to BYDFI. It's your money. Just you're depositing on the exchange in hopes that you will try out the exchange and like it and stick with it. But if you guys want access to the Telegram, that's the only way to do it because it is a partnership with BYDFI. And then I will keep you guys updated on all the altcoins we set alerts on as well. Now, obviously, guys, if I'm sleeping, I am not going to do it while I'm sleeping, okay? And also, like, there are times where I won't do it. You know, if I'm eating dinner with family and then the alert goes off, maybe if it's a super good alert, and most of the time I don't even check them, but I do my absolute best within reason to keep you guys updated on what I'm looking at, the trades I'm looking at. And so I will do my best over the weekend, and then Monday we can get back to the charts. And I'll see you guys then, okay? So trade safe out there, everyone. Please have a good weekend. God bless you all. Thank you all so much for the great questions, for the enthusiasm, the support. I really do appreciate each and every one of you.